So, as many of you probably saw last week, Sony put out an announcement that they were going to be doing a PlayStation 5 reveal showcase, which was going to be this week. They hinted at the fact that they were going to be showing off some gameplay, and obviously we were hoping to see the console as well. And then this morning I woke up to see that they had cancelled the event. This was the statement, and it basically said that, you know, now's not a time for celebration, and more important voices need to be heard, which is completely right. It's not a time for celebration. You know, it's a time for solidarity, a time for us all to come together and stand up and try and make a difference to the really shitty things that are going on right now. So I've included some links in the description about some ways that you can stand up and be counted, you know, and help towards this Black Lives Matter situation. If you can't afford to donate to one of the charities listed below, there's this stream that you can watch, which is also linked below. It's littered with advertisements that you let them play through, and then the ad revenue from those advertisements, 100% of it is donated to these charities supporting Black Lives Matter. Anyway, the point of what I'm getting to is that I'd spent the last 2 days making a video about my excitement for the PlayStation 5 reveal and some predictions and things that I thought were going to be at the show, which of course is kind of obsolete now. So when Sony do announce the new date for it, I'll see if I can rehash that video and get it out. Me being me, didn't have a backup plan for this week's video, but still wanted to post something for you guys. So the weather's really nice outside, and that is a rarity here in the UK. Basically thought I'd just hang out in the garden and talk about a few things that I didn't get a chance to cover that I would have liked to have talked about in videos, but just didn't have time to get around to. And also, I think I'm going to answer the 3 questions that I asked you guys in the VGT Asks video that came out over the weekend. So yeah. First thing I thought we could talk about was this Sega leak. Is this? So the first thing I thought we could talk about was this Sega inside scoop. I can't remember what the magazine was called or what the journalist was called, but I'll put it up on the screen. But I can't now because I'm in the pool. But yeah, apparently a Japanese magazine, a journalist there has claimed that he has the inside scoop that he would be releasing this week. I don't know if he's going to now with like current circumstances, but something revolutionary or something that's going to shake up the gaming industry is coming from Sega. Sega! That was pretty exciting to me. It's probably nothing at all. I don't know if it's like this guy's overhyping it or if it actually is something that could shake up the video game industry, but it's certainly exciting to think about like what it could be. Imagine if Sega came out of the gate and said, we're going to release a console. I would love that. That really would shake up the industry. Because, I mean, if you think about it, Nintendo have essentially proven to the world that if you come up with an idea and the concept is there, then your console doesn't have to be a world beater in terms of graphical power and capability and things like that. Like, look at the Nintendo Switch, look at how successful that's been. I mean, I don't know, like, technically how powerful it is, but in layman's terms, I would say it's probably as powerful as an Xbox 360 or a PS3, maybe a little bit more. I know that we see current gen console games on the Switch, but they're kind of downscaled, right? It does make you wonder if those guys have gone, hang on a minute, like, we could do something like this. I'd love to see it. I don't think it's going to happen, but we can all have our dreams. But then what could it be? Because I was thinking it might be like a Dreamcast Mini. They might be announcing like a Dreamcast Mini. Imagine if it's the Dreamcast 2. A Dreamcast Mini, whilst it would be cool, I'm not sure that it would shake up the industry or have that impact. The PlayStation Mini I mean, you saw what happened with that. Excuse the kids playing in the other garden, by the way. I just wanted to be outside for this because apparently it's forecast to go back to shitty British weather after today. Quick update, just doing my edit upstairs. The big inside Sega scoop has actually leaked, even though the magazine doesn't come out till tomorrow. The huge scoop teased by Nishikawa is that Sega is doing research and development on fog gaming, a potential new game platform that could be utilised by Japanese arcades. Fog gaming would repurpose arcades across Japan as part of the cloud, as well as channel arcade game machines, CPUs and GPUs, resulting in lower costs. This would provide ultra-low latency, and the concept is similar to fog computing. Players would be able to enjoy high-quality games, and the arcades would be able to make money even after business hours. Is this a joke? Side note, Sega today have also announced a Game Gear Micro. It definitely doesn't shake up the industry as far as I'm concerned. I don't know why I'm disappointed, to be honest. It was obviously not going to be something we actually fucking want. I don't know if you can see it, but on the side of this pool, down here, it says no diving. Do people need to be told that? Let's get to these questions then from VGT Asks that I asked you guys in the last video. The first question was, who is your all-time video game crush? I think Widowmaker from Overwatch is definitely, there's some sort of weird crush going on there, even though she's purple. But there's just something that I find endearing about Widowmaker. But I don't think that's my all-time favourite crush. I think going back to being a child, the first time that I really sort of felt like I had a connection with a video game character was probably Tifa from Final Fantasy VII, and then that was only really enforced by the remake because Question number two was, do you have any funny video game related, funny or fond memories, video game related memories? What the fuck was the question? I have a lot of fond and funny memories of playing video games with pals. I can only back up what JD said in the video about how many times me and him and Chris and Kieran have been sat together and just had like moments of madness while playing video games. So I thought that was a really good point. And one of those particular moments of madness was when I was at university. Me, Kieran and Katie all lived together, and my room was in the basement. It was this tiny little room, and Chris had come over to play video games, and we were having a few drinks playing video games, and I just recently managed to get hold of a Japanese orange GameCube, and I loved it. Anyway, it was sat on like my TV unit right next to my bed because the room was really small. So there was like my bed, which was a single bed, and then at the side of it, against the wall, literally at the foot of my bed, was like my TV unit with a few consoles on it and my TV. Me and Chris had been having a few drinks, and at the time, I'm sure Chris must have had a double bed, so he wasn't spatially aware of the size of a single bed. And he was kind of knelt on like the edge of the mattress, like with his ass facing the side where the consoles and stuff were. And I think he like shifted his position to try and sit down, thinking that there was going to be another half of a bed, because you know he wasn't used to the single bed life. And he just went ass first off the back of the bed, and underneath him was his carton of orange juice that he was using as mixer for his whatever spirit he was drinking, and he pancaked it with his ass, and it exploded all over my shiny orange Japanese GameCube. and it completely fucked it. The button, the disc tray button was like permanently stuck down, so the disc tray wouldn't close. You'd try and close it, it'd just reopen. All the buttons on the top were sticking and not working. The power had completely shorted, so it didn't even turn on anyway. And I was quietly devastated, but at the time I was in fucking hysterics. Well, we both were, but I don't think I'd initially realised the extent of the damage. We just thought it was so funny. But yeah, it cost me that, and I've still not managed to get one. I was actually in Japan last year for my honeymoon with Vicky, and yeah, I saw one there on the first night that we'd got to Japan. So I left it thinking I'd be able to come back and buy one any time, and I never saw one the rest of the time we were there. Yeah. Funny and depressing. What was the third question? The third question was... Oh yeah, one game that people probably haven't played, but they should. For me, that game is on the GameCube, whilst we're on the topic, and it is a game called Aggressive Inline. I was just a massive fan of those types of games, like the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater vibes and things like that, and it seems to be blowing back up now, and everybody's excited for the remake to come out in September. But if in the meantime you are looking for a game of that ilk that is incredibly fun with an amazing soundtrack, has all the amazing tropes in it that the Tony Hawk's games had, the only difference is that it's an inline game, it's a blading game, it's not skateboarding, but it's just unbelievably good, like really, really good. And I'm not over glorifying it either, because I recently rehashed it out and played it again. I just love that game, and the levels are kind of like bigger than Tony Hawk's levels, at least in the early Tony Hawk's games. And as you progress through the level, you would unlock new areas of the level, and they'd end up being quite big, at least big for the time. Certainly not big by today's standards, but you know, if you're into that sort of thing, and you want a taste of that style of game whilst you wait for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake to come out, then pick up a copy. It's only cheap as well, of Aggressive Inline. I think you can get it on the PlayStation 2 as well. I have it on the GameCube. But yeah, Aggressive Inline, GameCube. Get it done. Thank you for... Try not to drown you. Thank you for tuning into that this last minute sort of ragtag roped together video. Remember to check out the links that I posted below, and stand up and be counted and do what you can as we all come together to try and stop these like horrific injustices that are going on at the moment. Also, you know, be aware that we're still in the thick of it with COVID. Stay safe out there, and yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.